Greetings. So I'm walking out here at Onondaga Lake because I can. Doing it early while it's still in the high 60s as opposed to 91, which is supposed to hit today. I wanted to do this kind of video, a little different than the norm. Talk about leadership and why I like to talk about leadership and diversity and all the other things that I do. So let's talk about leadership in general. I don't think that I have to go all that far if I say that there just aren't a lot of good leaders. There really aren't. You would hope that there'd be a lot more, but there's not. So let's define leadership first. Leadership is the ability to get other people to agree with you so that you can reach your common goals. And that's really pretty much it. And leadership is not beating people down. It's not yelling at them. It's not stealing their ideas. Great leadership is having basically, your own personal corporation, if you will, because you don't have to be the top person to be a great leader. You could be a manager, you can be a supervisor, you can be an assistant supervisor, you can be a team leader. If you get the right people who are willing to work with you, then you're a great leader. Great leaders don't always aspire to be the number one person in a company, but they do want to be number one at the job they're doing. Sometimes leaders have it thrust upon them. I use 9/11 as an example, where there were a lot of people on that day who just assumed leadership and did things. Some of those people lost their lives, which is too bad, definitely way too bad, but a lot of them didn't. But they did what they felt was needed to do in order to help a lot of other people save their lives. So that's really the kind of thing about leadership, is that it's inspiring. If you can be a great leader, you can be inspiring to people. One of the things that I always thought made me feel best is when I lost an employee, and I didn't lose many employees, but when I lost an employee who was going to work at another company in a leadership position, because I always felt it was one of my jobs to try to teach someone else how to be a good leader and then take that somewhere else and make an impact on another company or another hospital, if you will, since I was in hospitals and healthcare. And I just think that there's nobody who doesn't like working for a good leader, someone who will listen to them, someone who will try to do things to make them better at their job, someone who will inspire them to do the best they can. Maybe they don't always like your technique as much, and I even had that. I didn't have everybody on my side, but I had a lot of people who would show up on my side. Morning. So that's why I've written 2 books on leadership. That's why I've written a whole bunch of blog posts on leadership. That's why I do these videos on leadership, because in my mind, if we can get some really good leaders in this world, forget just the country, if we can get some really good leaders in this world, then it just makes everything better. And you have to recognize that great leaders are not perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. I mean, goodness, they don't have to be big mistakes, but everyone makes mistakes. I thought last night, when there's a lot of people who are mad at Bill Clinton for something that he did while he was president. And it's interesting because you can look back on it now and say, well, okay, that turned out not to be the best thing ever. But at the time, there were a whole lot of people on both sides of the floor who said, yes, that's a good law. We like that. People in certain communities didn't, but the rest of us said, yeah, that sounds like a good law. Who wouldn't want to do that? So leadership does not mean you're going to be perfect, but it means that you've worked with a coalition of folks and you've made the best decision you can, and there you go. So that's really my thought for the day as I'm walking here at the lake. And by the way, just a quick look, Onondaga Lake. And I hope y'all have a good day, and I hope you have a great week.